is going to be a short series working through lunging for balance and doing some vision drills, seeing how our vision can impact our balance in lunging. So we're going to start standing, stepping backwards into a lunge. You decide the length and the width of the stance that you feel most comfortable with. Ideally, your front foot is grounded completely. Your knee is bent somewhere over your foot. Your back heel is lifted and your big toe is vertical, pointing straight forward. So from the side, I look like this. I can adjust my stance to find where I feel kind of most sturdy and most comfortable. Pointing directly forward, this is what I look like. You can go with a wider stance for a little bit more stability, but again, big toe and really both feet are pointing straight ahead. You can go hands on hips, you can go hands out to the side, or you can go hands up, palms facing each other. Decide where you want your hands to be, and then see if you can tuck and tilt your pelvis. It's not going to be a big move. You might need to unlock your back knee a little bit, and you can do this in any arm position. If you need more feedback about whether your pelvis is moving, I would encourage you to go hands on hips. You'll feel your hip points lift and your hip points lower, tucking and tilting. Stay as much in a tucked position as you can. Engage your back glute, imagining your back foot driving backwards. Simultaneously, see if you can pull your front heel or foot underneath you. No movement will actually happen, but you should feel some intentions, you should feel some different activation here. So again, I have back glute active as I push my back foot backwards. I'm not overly clenching in my quad or my knee. Front foot is pulling, so I feel the hamstrings and maybe even inner thigh of the front leg active. Once again, hands can go on hips, out to a T, or up overhead, palms facing each other. And just balance. Find a focal point with your gaze and breathe. Notice how stable you are. There might be some wobbling, some moving. If you're really sturdy, you might add in some movement, seeing if you can straighten your front leg and reach down. Bend your front leg and reach up. If this is enough of a balance, just simply stay here. As you're ready, step forward, shake it out, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Stepping backwards into a lunge. It might be the same length or width, it might be different. Either way, both feet are pointing straight ahead. Front leg is bent, back leg is relatively straight, though we might unlock the knee to start. Find your stance, find your arm position, move your pelvis. Get to know how much your pelvis moves in space, which direction is easier or harder. Stay as tucked as you can. That in and of itself will engage the glute. Then see if you can straighten the back leg. Imagine pushing the back leg backwards. Pull the front heel in the same direction underneath you. So again, back glute, front hamstring or inner thigh is active. Find your arm position. Find a focal point and breathe. We're just checking in with how our balance is to start. Once again, if this is easy, make it dynamic. Straighten the front leg, lower down. Bend the front leg, lift up. If balance is challenging enough, just be here. One more breath. And step forward. Once again, shake it out. We're going to do two different vision drills. I'm going to step a little closer so you can see my eyes. One vision drill, we're going to have the hand remain stationary, the eyes remain fixed on the hand or the finger, and the head will move. I'm doing a pattern of an X and a plus sign. That means that I move on a diagonal, making that X. And I move vertical and horizontal, making that plus sign. All the while, my gaze is fixed on my finger. My hand does not move, my finger doesn't move. It's only my head that moves. Let that go, shake it out. This one will use both hands. I'm going to use my other hand to start. Now, my finger and my eyes will move, my head will remain stationary. So once again, my eyes are staying fixed on my finger, but they're moving as the finger moves. I'm moving at a pace that doesn't feel jumpy. Once again, I go through the X, and I go through the horizontal and the vertical of the plus sign. Since right now I'm using my left hand, I can get much more range of motion as I turn to my left. So if I have more range of motion, I can then switch my fingers and I can get that much out to the right as well. You can challenge this horizontal a couple of times. You can repeat the X or the plus, and then release. Now we'll go back and just check in to see how our activation is. So we're turning to our lunge. It doesn't matter if you do the side you did first or second. Find your lunge position. You kind of know where to be. Find the tuck of the pelvis, the activation of the feet and the legs, front heel pulls, back foot presses. Decide where your arms go. Find your focal point. You can notice if balance has changed or if activation has changed. If you did this dynamic, you can return to it being dynamic. Notice any differences. Switch sides. Observe if anything has shifted. Sometimes it's activation, it's strength. Sometimes it's balance. Not only was that our second time doing it, our body has learned, but also we changed our vision. We used our vestibular system and our ocular system, our oculovestibular system a little bit more integrated. So notice any differences.